In today's video, we're going to break down the usage of the verb haber in Spanish in the different tenses that are most confusing. Había, hubo, hubiera, hubiese, habría, and so on. How are we going to do that? First of all, I'm going to tell you how exactly this verb is used, what are its usages, and then I'm going to show you some sentences that are very similar between each other that have the different tenses. Okay, so you'll see all the tenses in action and you'll see the differences between them. So you'll know next time which one you need to use, or at least when you hear them, you'll be able to understand what they mean. But first of all, we need to know what is the verb haber. And here, as I always enjoy doing, I'm going to talk about its origins. Haber comes from habere, the Latin habere, which meant to have, to possess something, as in to own something. This verb, this word in Latin, gave us to have in English. So that's where to have comes from. Habere, to have. It also gave us avoir in French or avere in Italian. And all these mean the same, to have, to possess. And they are also used for the compound verbs, for like, I have eaten, I have dreamed. Now, Spanish took another verb to say to possess and to have, which is the one tener. But it kept the verb habere or haber for the compound verbs. So we use haber for he comido, haber comido, I have eaten. He soñado, I have dreamt. Okay? But also, it has another usage, and it's what you've heard as hay. Hay means there is or there are. So, recap. Haber plus participle, like he comido, means I have eaten. Okay? Haber, as in hay nubes, there are clouds. There is, there are. Hay. Hay is not conjugated. It's just there is, there are. Hay sillas, hay mesas, hay niños, hay. Okay? Now let's see both usages, and we'll see it with different times, with different tenses. Okay? Let's start with the first example. Había mucha gente en la plaza. Second one. Hubo mucha gente en la plaza. Third example. Si hubiera mucha gente en la plaza, no podríamos entrar. And fourth, pensaba que habría más gente en la plaza. Okay, let's break them down. All of them means there are a lot of people in the plaza, but in different scenarios. The first one, there was a lot of people in the plaza. In the first one, I'm just painting a picture. I'm just saying there was a lot of people. There were a lot of people. Or there were many people. As in, I'm just giving you the scenario. Now, the second one, hubo mucha gente. Here I'm talking about maybe an event that happened at a certain time, and I'm saying hubo mucha gente. There was a lot of people. That moment, at that specific time, there were a lot of people. Okay? Versus, yeah, there were a lot of people in general. I was in the city center and había mucha gente en la plaza. I don't know why there were so many people. Or maybe I do, but I'm just painting the picture. I'm not telling you that there was an event and there was a lot of people, which is hubo mucha gente. Okay? These are the two pasts. Now, hubiera. This is the subjunctive. And this one is generally used with conditional sentences. For example, in this sentence, si hubiera mucha gente en la plaza, no podríamos entrar. If there were a lot of people in the plaza, we wouldn't be able to go in, to enter the plaza. Okay? So if there were a lot of people, we wouldn't be able to enter. Okay? Si hubiera o hubiese, because hubiera and hubiese are the same thing. In Spain, we use both, but mostly hubiese, maybe. And South America, they use hubiera a bit more, but they're interchangeable. You'll read books and things where you find both in the same paragraph. Si hubiera mucha gente en la plaza, if there were a lot of people. I'm not saying that there was people, there were people. I'm saying that if that happened, we wouldn't be able to enter. And then the third one, pensaba que habría más gente en la plaza. I thought there would be more people in the plaza. This habría is habría in the conditional form. Okay? So I thought there would be more people in the plaza, but there weren't people. Any people. Okay? So, differences. All it means there are. But if you want to paint a picture, you're going to say, oh, there were a lot of people. And you want your listener to imagine all those people there. Había mucha gente. If you want to say something happened, there were a lot of people. Hubo mucha gente in that event, in that specific thing, in the timeline. Hubo mucha gente, sí. If you want to say, if there were a lot of people, si hubiera mucha gente, hubiese. And then, pensaba que habría más gente. I thought there would be. If you want to say would be, habría. Okay? Now let's see it as a compound verb. Había llegado a casa cuando llamaste. Second one. Hubo llegado a casa antes de que anocheciera. I'll tell you why I have it scratched. Si hubiera llegado a casa más temprano, habría descansado. And third, habría llegado a casa a tiempo, pero hubo tráfico. Okay, now here we have the same tenses as before, but now they have a compound verb. So, había llegado. I had arrived. Not I have arrived, but I had arrived. What does that mean? That okay, we have a timeline in the past, and we have an event that happened in the past. Llamaste, you called. Llamaste, something that happened on the timeline. But before that thing of you calling happened, I had already arrived. So we use this tense, había llegado, to express things that happened before something in the past, if that makes sense. We have a timeline, you called, before that, I had arrived. So había llegado a casa cuando llamaste, when you called. The second one. Hubo llegado a casa antes de que anocheciera. This one I scratched it because we barely use it. I have never in my life said it. Maybe I should be saying it, but I've never heard any of my friends saying it. I've never heard anybody use it. Maybe you find it in books, you find it in old writings, but it's not said. People don't say it. So I would say this one just for now, unless you are going to study Spanish and you need it for, I don't know, the university and writing papers or I don't know, just ignore that for now. So I'm not going to go over it. I can do another video on it if you want, but it's a bit lost. We don't use it. So let's go to the next one. That's good news. We have one less. We won't say hubo llegado. Hubo gente, yes, as in there were people. But hubo llegado, not so much. Si hubiera llegado a casa más temprano, habría descansado. If I had arrived home earlier, I would have rested. Okay? This, again, is a subjunctive. Si hubiera llegado. And is a past of the subjunctive. It means like if I had arrived, I can no longer arrive home earlier. Because this opportunity is past. So that's why we use this tense and not another one. We use hubiera llegado, hubiera comido, or hubiese llegado, hubiese comido, when we want to make conditional sentences that are in the past and no longer possible. I cannot go earlier to my house and rest. No. Si hubiera llegado a casa más temprano, habría descansado. Always goes with the haber in condicional, okay? Which we're going to see it here. And I'm going to make everything make sense, don't worry. Other sentence. Habría llegado a casa a tiempo, pero hubo tráfico. I would have arrived home early, but there was traffic. Hubo tráfico. See how here I'm using the verb haber in hubo, as in something specific happened and there was traffic. It's not like, sí, había tráfico, there was traffic. No. Hubo tráfico. We're in the timeline, traffic was there, you know? Something happened and there was traffic. Does that make sense? The difference between hubo tráfico and había tráfico? Había tráfico I'm describing, that's my purpose. Hubo tráfico is I'm saying something that happened in the timeline. So, I would have arrived home early, but there was traffic. This is a conditional. This is a compound conditional that we use for things in the past. Okay? Conditions. Things in the past. I would have arrived earlier, but I didn't. And because there was traffic. Okay? So with the conditional sentences, many times, depending on the level of condition, which I have a video on this and I'll leave it linked in the description. Depending on the level of conditionals, you use one thing or another, but usually, many times, you'll find it like this. You find both hubiera llegado and habría descansado. So let's recap. Había. You can say había on its own if you want to paint a picture of something that there was in the past. And it's super common saying había. You're explaining how your trip was, how your time in another country was, and you say había mucha gente, había muchas tiendas, había, you know, things that you want to place in the image, in the past, in the portrait, in the picture. Okay? Hubo, things that happened, as in hubo un accidente, there was an accident. Hubo un problema, there was a problem. Things that, boom, happened in the past. Hubo. Hubiera. Hubiera is a condition. So, si hubiera mucha gente en la plaza, if there were a lot of people. Habría, conditional. Would be, there would be. Habría gente, there would be people. Another example for hubiera, si hubiera comprado pan, if I had bought bread, habría pan, there would be bread. Si hubiera comprado pan, habría pan. If I had bought bread, there would be bread. Hubiera, habría, many times together. I hope this is clear. I wanted to make a short and sweet demonstration. So if you want more on this, if you want me to go deeper into any of those or all of them, let me know in the comments and I will make another video going deeper with all this. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Ciao.